Meanwhile, CTV Saskatoon reporter Pat McKay was on the scene with more details.
I'm at an RCMP barricade about 20 to 30 kilometers north of the town of Tisdale. I'm being told by people here at the barricade it's about 1 to 2 miles south of where the actual collision site is. That's where the Humboldt Broncos team bus has collided with a semi-trailer unit. Now, I'm told by people in the area as the bus was heading north, the semi heading west failed to come to a full stop in the intersection, and that's what has caused this collision. Now, RCMP have confirmed there are multiple fatalities. There are 2 sites set up for people, family members, friends that are looking to get support. One in Humboldt, that's at the Elgar Peterson Arena where people are gathered. They're hoping to get as much information as they can, hoping for good news. I'm also being told the Broncos organization is beginning to contact the family members of the players that were involved. The other site is set up in Nipawin, and it's the same deal there. That's where people are looking to get the support they need. I'm told by the Nipawin Hawks organization the protocol for something like this doesn't really exist because you can't exactly prepare for a situation like this, is what they tell me. They're just trying to get the players, the people involved, the support that they need. It's also a big game for the Huskies because it's been a while since they've won. You'd have to go back to September 8th when the Huskies actually beat the Alberta Golden Bears here at Griffith Stadium, and that was to move to 2-0 on the season. They've since lost 2 straight. Colin, at first glance, it might look like a mismatch tonight. The Rush on top of the National Lacrosse League in almost every major category. We're talking wins, goals for per game, goals against per game. They can even clinch a playoff spot tonight with a win, and they've won 9 of the last 10 games against the Calgary Roughnecks. That includes back in January, a 13-12 overtime win in Calgary. After that loss, though, the Roughnecks have caught fire. They've won 3 straight, scoring just over 16 goals a game. Meanwhile, the Rush are coming off a big loss to the Rochester Nighthawks last week, a team they admit they might have underestimated a little bit, but they say they're not about to let that happen again against their biggest rivals.
Pat, there is one year in particular that a lot of people have been talking about this week.
There is, Chantel, and there have been a lot of moments over the last 50 years, from backboards shattering in the very first slam dunk competition to a team getting ejected after a near brawl on the court. But from asking people what the highlight is from the last 50 years, the overwhelming response that I got was the New York Gauchos. When this many elite-level teams get together, you never know what's going to happen, as we've seen so far this week. Can you speak to the unpredictable nature of a Grand Slam like this? They lost to Team Winnipeg. Guess what? Their first game tomorrow, it's against Team Winnipeg, and they tell me they're really looking forward to that one. Actually, the dynamic between all the teams on this tour is pretty interesting because it is a tour. They travel together. They all know each other pretty well. In fact, the second-ranked team from Slovenia actually stayed at Michael Linklater's house last night. He joked that he turned the air conditioning up to give him a little bit of a colder sleep. Pleased to be joined once again by Dave Thomas, voice of the Huskies on CJWW. Dave, the Huskies lose their 4th consecutive game on the weekend, but we did see some positives in that game, namely a lot of resilience, almost overcoming that 20-point deficit in the 4th quarter.
Well, you're right.
Before the 2016 WHL Bantam Draft, the Saskatoon Blades had only selected 3 players with the top 2 pick: Joe Barnes, Rob Woods, and Colton Gillies. But none of them arrived in Saskatoon with quite the same hype as Kirby Dock, who was taken 2nd overall last year. After exploding onto the WHL scene with 10 points in 19 games late last season as a 16-year-old, the expectation is that he will be the franchise centerman the team has been looking for. And while he's okay with that label, head coach Dean Brockman is wary about putting that much pressure on a young player.
They're how deeks get made and goals get scored.
Kirby Dockett deeks to the backhand, score!
And with dozens of whacks, hacks, chops, and slaps on any given day, they will often break. And for the Blades, that's where trainer Chad Scarf steps in.
I like to keep 3 sticks on their rack so that every guy has 1 that they're playing with and then 2 on the bench for me.
He orders them.
You know, you'll see with players in today's game, whatever looks good they want.
And makes the alterations.
Libor Hayek, probably one of our hardest guys on his sticks. I think he's broke upwards to 30 sticks this year.
What are you doing to them? I don't know.
The companies nowadays, they're doing a great job with them, but at the same time, the players are getting bigger, they're getting stronger, they're getting faster, and the technology of the sticks is there, but you do see them break in critical times. You see it in the NHL, you see it in the American League, and you see it in our league.
Well, they sure don't make them like this anymore. A 1977 Victoriaville all-wooden stick. That'll retail for about $20 back in the day. Now this is what the blades use now. CCM Super Tack. They'll pay about $175 a pop, meaning that stick budget can get pretty high.
At the start of the year, we like to bring roughly around 9 to 12 sticks per guy.
So if there's 12 sticks per player to start, and a team averages about 30 players a year, multiply that by the $175 per stick, and you get a preliminary look at the cost of sticks a WHL team will use per year.
That batch of 12 will last some players all year. That batch of 12 might last a player a month. It depends, like I said, on each player is a little different. I can tell you that we will order anywhere from 300 to 500 sticks a year.
The stick budget could grow as large as $87,000.
Hearing about how much they cost, does it kind of make you think twice about maybe snapping one out of frustration or something?
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, when I was younger, I was never paying attention, but now I think about it, I always got to watch out what I got to do with my sticks nowadays.
It's the blades money, right?
That's true, but you always got to respect. You know, it doesn't matter if you're paid for it or not. You always got to respect the sticks that you have and what you use for sure.
Pat McKay, CTV News, Saskatoon.